Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Tell Ben I said hello. Tell him I said hello. Hey, Kanima. Hey, Visha. How y'all doing today? I'm sure you guys have guessed it. I'm out on my morning walk. I'm out on my morning walk. Our declaration um, on this morning, I'm doing well this morning. Last night was a bit rocky. It's crazy how, like, sometimes the most turmoil, I don't know if you guys can relate, but the most turmoil and fear tries to set in at nighttime. Listen, ain't nothing to it but to do it, Kanema. It's some good weather here in Mississippi, so it's perfect. It's perfect for a walk. Anybody ever notice how, like, night times, and I'll even say to a certain degree, weekends, right, are the times where we battle the most. Now, I'm not saying like we don't battle during the day or at any other point, but have you guys ever noticed that the most warfare, the times where you really have to sit with your fear and deal with it, is at night and on the weekends, right? I don't know if you guys remember, like in my wilderness, I dreaded the nighttime and the weekends because it was that time where, you know, you can't busy yourself up, you know, to not deal with it, to not think about it. It's that time where physically we are winding down, weekends and nighttime. So for a lot of people, you know, we battle the most during those times. That's where we cry. That's where, you know, you may even have a little bit of anxiety. That's where, you know, your mind starts roaming. And I don't mind us the devil's playground, right? And to a certain degree, sometimes physical rest, like in the world, it leads to an idle mind. So this was me last night freaking out. Freaking out. And so again, our declaration on this morning is God is taking me higher. That's our declaration. God is taking me higher. I'm gonna say it again. That is our declaration. God is taking me higher. So I'm sure that you guys that follow, you know, that have been following my journey and everything that has been going on know that Friday was a day where I got some kind of upsetting news, right? Um, and so I'm still in the waiting phase. And so I remember Friday, the first thing that I told that lady was that tax return is not right. I need to amend that. That's not right. That ain't right. And so because I didn't know like the time frame, you know, that it would take to amend a tax return, we went with the co-signer option, right? So yesterday was a good day. I thoroughly enjoyed it, packing, cleaning, sleeping, just like that in that order, and packing some more, cleaning some more. So last night, God gave me a set of instructions, right? And it was such a set of instructions that it made me feel like, am I hearing you correctly, Lord? Anybody ever like had God like tell you to do something and it's something that you didn't think that you were gonna have to do, and you be going back to the you like, nah, nah, nope, God, that ain't you, that ain't you. So boom, God is like, listen, I need you to go back in TurboTax, and I need you to go ahead and amend that tax return. Right now, I got to give you guys the preface of how, you know, it's easy for me, how it's become easy for me with TurboTax, right? So TurboTax, it you know, connects with PayPal, right? And it totally, you know, divvies up the amount made on PayPal and it automatically transfers. For a while though, last year was one of those years where the majority of the funds that came in, probably about half, came from Cash App. And so it was one of those things, where I'm like, so I gotta input this, information from Cash App to God. That was what he wanted me to do. Add your income from Cash App. Add it. And so I'm gonna be real. By the time I got done calculating, I was like, God, I am going to owe the IRS money, right? Which freaked me out. Anybody else get freaked out by owing the IRS money? And I'm like, Lord, it ain't even a small amount of money. It ain't 10,000, but it ain't, it's a lot, right? And so I get done filling it out. I'm talking a few grand. I get done filling it out, and the Lord says, now send it to your loan officer. Send it. Don't take off none of these. Send it. Send it to her. And so at that point, I knew while I was doing it that, hey, this is God telling me to do this. And I started freaking out. I started thinking worst case scenario. What if they think I'm lying, God? Right? Because just adding that Cash App, it doubled my income automatically. That's a whole word. And so, I'm like many other people. I'm being transparent. Cash App, last year was the last year Cash App, not counting, money that you get in. I'm not trying to use it until the next year. I ain't trying to use it until the next year, Lord. I am not trying to use it until I absolutely have to. Because who wants to owe the IRS money? Nobody. I promise y'all I'm going somewhere. So last night at this point, I'm freaking out with anxiety. God, are they going to think I'm lying? Every thought I thought God had something. If they think you lying, send them all the Cash App. Send them all the Cash App. Send it to them. Send them the whole year. Let them comb through those numbers. Let them do it. Right? I'm thinking, what if it messes up my, me getting the house? What if this is too drastic of a change? Because this has doubled my income. What if this is too much of a change? Right? God is like, you will be fine. And so even though God was saying all those things, my anxiety was still on a 10. Anybody ever been there where, you know that the Lord is dealing with you, he's talking to you, calming your fears, but you still don't feel no better? Anybody ever been there? Like, God, I hear you, but I don't feel no better. I hear what you're saying. I hear you saying this ain't gonna affect nothing but God, right? But Lord. So, needless to say, I went to bed probably like around 1. It was that type of, anxiety where I just could not rest. And so I prayed a simple prayer. God, if you hear me, I need a sign. I need a sign because this is pulling on my faith now. I need a sign. So this morning I wake up. Y'all following along? Give me one if y'all are following along. I'm about to get into the revelation. This morning, like I wake up and I'm seeking the Lord's face. And it was one of those mornings where I'm like, I don't even want to touch an electronic device. Yesterday was so traumatic. I don't want to touch my phone. I don't want to even look at it. I don't want to do it. And so the Lord begins to deal with me. And you know what the Lord told me? First, he reminded me of 2019 when I got the Audi, and how getting that Audi, it required me, right, to do things that I had never done. It required me to handle debt. It required for me to it required for me to get my house in order. Y'all get what I'm saying? And he said, remember, you were anxious there too. You were anxious there too. And the Lord said, did it not work out? Did you not get what I have for you to get. And then after he told me that, he said, to whom much is given, much is required. He said, not only did I have you do that because that was the honest thing to do, right? You don't wait for them to force you to do the right thing. This is the right thing to do. Calculate what you brought in on Cash App, put it on your taxes. He said, but all of this revolves around me taking you to another level. And I think that this is the part that people really don't understand, is that when God takes you higher, when he takes you to a higher level in him, a higher level financially, a higher level in the job arena, a higher level in whatever in whatever area it is, it requires more of you. Come on. And so I say all this to say, this next level, this next thing that God is doing in your life, it is going to require more of you. A lot of times we think that God, when the breakthrough comes, when the level up comes, things get easier. They don't. They don't. If you had to sacrifice on the level before then, there's going to be some type of greater sacrifice on the next level. I said what I said. Right? Because each level adds a different type of like responsibility, which is why the testing is so extreme. And the Lord told me to tell some of you guys, get your house in order, right? Many people say, I'm ready for the level up. I'm ready for the blessing. I'm ready for the breakthrough. But their house is not in order, right? For some people, that might mean you facing that debt, creating a payment plan, right? For some people, that may look like forgiveness. For some people, getting your house in order may look like you actually being organized as go around. Give me a one if I'm making sense. So this morning, right, the Lord says, tell them I'm taking them higher. And if they think that it's going to be easy, tell them, to whom much is given, much is required. I'm going to say that again. To whom much is given, much is required. And the thing about it is, if you cannot steward where you are right now, if you can't steward where you are right now, what makes you think that you're going to be able to steward the new thing? I'm going to say that again. If you cannot steward, right, where you are right now, what makes you think that you're going to be able to steward the new thing? Right in 2019, after I did that, do you not know that financially I entered into a new season? God says I need to say that. Not only was it a risk for me to get a vehicle, I had not had a car note in ages. My faith had already been stretched with the amount of rent that I had to pay every single month. And so I felt like at the time, back in 2019, I owed money to the IRS then. But do you not know that the new season that I was entering into, it covered everything? So it's like as you take the leap, you know, the amount of stewardship, the level of stewardship, it gets a little bit stricter. If you think you had to steward finances a certain way, I guarantee, right, that when you level up, it's going to be more responsibility added to what you already had, right? When God levels up that business, guess what? It's not going to be easy. It's going to require a deeper level of stewardship. So if you're complaining about lack of sleep now, right, and you ain't even made it to the next level, what you think it's going to be when God increases that area? You might lose more sleep. You might have to, spend or invest more money. I pray that I'm making sense. It's just like, okay, say you believe in God to level up your living arrangements. If you are complaining about paying rent now or your responsibilities on this level, baby, him elevating you is only going to add to those responsibilities. God taking you from, come on, hotels to a car to an apartment. Guess what? Those responsibilities are going to increase. You're in a different place. God taking you from an apartment to a townhome, an apartment to a home. Those responsibilities, it's going to be more added on top of what you were already doing. Do y'all get that? Do y'all get that? Even down to jobs, right? You may be saying, I'm believing for God to give me a job. Well, if you're already struggling, right, in the responsibilities, handling the responsibilities of your current job, what you think a new job is going to do? It's going to add more responsibility, right? You may have longer hours for better pay. You may have to work extremely harder. To whom much is given, much is required. And I'll be real. Every single time, that has been the hardest part of receiving every single level of that I've seen God do. Right? I always say he's stretching my faith. Some of y'all have said, God is stretching my faith. But do you really understand what that entails? Because a lot of times God stretching your faith looks like you got me pursuing something that costs more money than what I have. Right? God, you got me pursuing something that costs more money than what I can afford right now. That's stretching your faith to believe God for more. And a lot of times when God stretches your faith to pursue something, right, that costs more money than what you have, a lot of times in those instances, it's because you're entering into a season where your finances are about to level up. And so where a lot of people go wrong, man, you said a whole mouthful. The promotion oftentimes feels like demotion. That explains how I felt last night. God, it feels like I'm going backwards. God, do you already not know? I got to pay for closing. I got to get to the point where the bank approves and says, okay, we moving forward. God, this feels like I have messed things up. And oftentimes when God stretches us, when he promotes us, the way he has you moving, it makes you feel like, God, I'm messing up. I feel like I'm messing the promise up. I feel like, I'm hindering what you're trying to do in my life. I feel like I'm moving backwards. Right? And I'll be real. Some of y'all feel that way now. You feel like, God, even though like some new things have began to happen, it feels like nothing has shifted, like nothing has changed. Some of y'all, that's you right now. God is taking all of us higher. And with him taking us higher, there's a new demand on your faith. There's a new demand. Come on your level of stewardship. There's a newer demand. Come on, a more intense demand on you operating from a place of righteousness, of you operating from a place of integrity. There's a new demand. Somebody type that in. This new thing requires, come on, a new and improved me. It requires that I respond differently. I pray that I'm making sense. There's a new demand. Think about all the people that'll tell God, I'm ready for the new thing. Do you know that the new thing requires a new and improved you? You got to operate totally different, right? So many people like God's calling, taking me into the deep. Baby, do you understand the brevity? I don't think that some people understand the brevity of what they pray when they say that. God is doing a new thing. It sounds good until the new thing don't look like what you expected. It sounds good, God taking you higher, until him taking you higher looks like, now it looks like I'm going to be in more debt, God. It looks like, come on, like I'm not going to enjoy the new thing. All right. Okay. But in this season, as God takes us higher, right? Because some of us have been so invested in God. We've been so invested. Hear me now. We've been so invested in staying the course. God is saying, as you approach me taking you higher to a higher level, think about a game. Everybody has seen like video games that have like levels to it, right? You got level 1, that's like the beginner level. You know, it's a little bit easy, right? It ain't much that you have to like overcome on a beginner level. Then you get to level 2. You got some challenges on level 2. You get to level 3. It requires a different skill set. You get on it up level 10. Listen, you better be a master at skill sets. Am I making sense? Y'all have seen those games like that. Back in the day, my aunt used to play Tetris on an old school Nintendo. I don't know if y'all know nothing about an old school Nintendo. But listen, Mario. But my aunt, we used to always play Tetris. It would start out real easy, right? This is me playing the game. My aunt was a master at it. My cousins, they were a master at it. I won one time against my aunt, and let's just say I never won again. I gloated a little bit too much, so she had to humble me. But listen, level 1, I'm like, okay, this is easy. These blocks coming down slow. Level 2, I'm like, okay, a little bit faster. Baby, by level 3, level 4, I'm like, this too fast. I cannot. Listen, and I got out. Seasons of life work the same way. The levels of God, work the same way, right? It works the same way. I pray that I know I got y'all laughing, but I pray that I'm making sense. I pray that I'm making sense. And so it's like, why do we think, hear me now, that when God levels us up, that it's going to be easy? That it's going to be like level 1. That it's going to be like him dealing with us like a beginner. You prayed for increase. You prayed that prayer of Jabez. You asked God to increase your territory. How can you how can you even imagine it being, right? Just like you in your baby believer days. To whom much is given, much is required. I'm going to say it again. To whom much is given, much is required. Even look at it from this standpoint, right? Let's just say you're in a season and, where you're believing God for financial increase. And there's a certain amount that you tithe every single month. Do you not know that when God increases you to the next level, that your tithe also increases? Some of y'all don't be thinking that. Some of y'all don't even be, the demand increases. And so as God was dealing with me about that this morning, what God straight up told me was, get used to it. You asked me to increase the ministry, and now you want to complain that you actually owe money back this year? You asked me for this. You asked me for this. And just like you operated from a place of integrity in previous seasons, you know what God straight up told me? I had you amend that tax return because that was the right thing to do. It was the honest thing to do. And I'm going to be real. Sometimes the next level, it scares us to such a degree where we not only want to approach it like the old level, right? But we want to cut corners so we don't have to deal with certain things. Okay. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the next level, it scares us so much because we already be feeling like we stretched to capacity. Like, God, don't add nothing else to me. I'm good. Right? How is it we pray for increase, first of all, and then want to reject it? The audacity. The audacity. How is it that we pray for increase and then want to reject it? The audacity. And I said what I said, the audacity. The audacity. So, sometimes because we are already feeling like enough is enough. I can't take no more stretching, God. When we are approaching the higher level, we either want to, dance around certain things or we treat that level like the old level. And I'm gonna be real. If you playing a video game and you approach level 10 like you did level 1, you're gonna be out in 3 seconds. Your character gonna die in 3 seconds. What am I saying? If we approach, myself included, this new level that God is taking us to, like we approached, right? The level where we were like baby believers, we are not gonna make it. We ain't gonna make it. We gonna fumble the ball. We gonna fumble the bag hard. We gonna miss out on stuff. We gonna miss out on opportunities, right? And it's like so crazy that a lot of people do this. Approach the new season like the old season, right? A lot of people approach it like that and then get mad, right? When you don't receive the level of blessing that you thought you were supposed to receive. But the question we gotta come on. The question that we gotta start asking ourselves is, did I approach this new level the right way? Come on. Did I approach this new level the right way? Or did I approach it with fear? And that fear made me unconsciously approach it like I did a previous season. I need somebody to type that in. Am I approaching the new thing the right way? Come on. Because the issue is not that you ain't in a new season. The issue is not that God hasn't leveled you up, but approach is everything. Approach is everything. Am I approaching this higher level, right? This next level, like I did when I just, took my first leap of faith? Am I approaching it the right way? God, am I approaching the new thing you're doing in my business the right way? Or am I still trying to fit an old strategy into a new thing? Am I being lazy in my approach? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Am I not wanting to, grow with the season, grow with the level? Am I rejecting it, God? Am I rejecting it because of fear? Because I'm comparing this higher thing, right, to the last thing? And really why we reject it is we understand the struggles and the demand of a previous season. So we be wanting to break. We be wanting to break. Tell me I'm lying. We be wanting to break. We don't be wanting to revisit anything. All right. We don't be wanting to revisit anything. And the final thing that God told me this morning, y'all ready for this? Give me one if y'all ready for this. So this is going to make some of y'all about throw your phone. As God is telling me all this, the last thing that he asked me, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. After he done lit me up this morning, he done got me all the way together. He done just pretty much told me don't run. You know what he told me? Where's your faith? He said, where's your faith? Where's your faith? You done had faith all these years. And now you let a number on the screen. Come on. You let a number on the screen make you doubt me. Listen, he snatched all of them. I'm bald-headed around the edges. I'm bald-headed around the edges. Listen, ain't no edges. Ain't no edges. The only way I had some edges is if I put a wig on. I kid you not. He said, where's your faith? Where's your faith? A wig. Yep. Where's your faith? And I believe that right now God is saying to some of y'all, where is your faith? Where's your faith? Where's your faith? God is saying, you used to be able to apply this strategy to your business with joy, but now you're doubting. Now you're rejecting what I'm asking you to do in this business. Hello, somebody. You used to be able to sow whenever you heard me or felt led to sow. And now all of a sudden, you act like you don't hear me. You used to believe that what I said was yours. And now you're trembling at the thought of what a system can tell you, at the thought of what a man can tell you. Where is your faith? And he said, because many of my people are lacking faith. They don't even know that this opens them up to be attacked by the enemy. Do you not know that faith is a part of the armor of God? Uh-oh, I'm going somewhere. Hello, somebody. Do you not know that faith is a part of the armor of God? It's also a gift. But do you not know, I'm going to say it again, that your faith is a part of the armor of God? And because some of you guys have been lacking in the faith department, you have opened yourself up to attacks from the enemy. And check this out. Y'all ready for this? They've been legal attacks. Because you struggle in your faith, many people have been struggling in their level of obedience. Hello, somebody. God says it's a whole legal attack. It's not illegal. You didn't put your faith on. You didn't put your shield on. And because you didn't put your shield on, you haven't been operating at the highest level of obedience like you used to. Now you act like you don't hear me. Now you reject it. Now you act like you don't know my voice. The Lord says, my voice hasn't changed. The way I deal with you hasn't changed. But your fear has tainted your ability to hear me, your ability to receive, your ability to follow me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Y'all ain't got to talk back to me. He said, tell them. The devil ain't just been doing, he said, what really blows God's mind is that many of us have been so out of alignment that when the enemy attacks us, we have not even been saying anything. We ain't been opening up our mouth. We ain't been warring over that situation. We have not been speaking to the mountain. The Lord said, tell them it was a legal attack. It's on you. Come on, somebody say, it's been on me. God, my bad. It's been on me. We looking at God like, God, where you at? And God is like, I'm just waiting on you to put your shield back on. I'm waiting on you to get in alignment and move the way I need you to move. Stop trying to figure out, right? Or put logic around what I'm asking you to do. Hello, somebody. It's been on you. It's been on me. So needless to say, this morning was one of those mornings where, listen, I did a lot of repenting, but I made sure that I got myself back in rightful alignment. I made sure this morning that every part of my armor was all the way on, not loose, firmly placed. Is your armor firmly placed? Because sometimes, it's not that the armor is off, but it's real loose. It's hanging on to you by a thread. It's hanging on to you by a thread. Where's your faith? Somebody ask your neighbor, where's your faith? Somebody ask your neighbor, where is your faith? Where's your faith? Where's your faith? Where's your faith? Where is it? Where is it? Because God is taking you higher. And you need that. You need it on whatever level you're on, but you really need it. In this day and age, you need that. You need every part of it. Not lacking anything. Where's your faith? How you get to this point and now you start doubting God? How you get to this point now? Obedience led you here. And now you want to go off and do your own thing. Get back in alignment. Get back in alignment right now. Whatever it is that you need to be doing today, do it. Whatever leap God has asked you to take, do it. His instructions don't change. Whatever God has been dealing with you about, fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. And that's it. That's the word God gave me this morning. He's taking you higher. Somebody speak that over yourself right now. God is taking me higher. Come on. He's taking me higher. And it requires a new and improved me. He's taking me higher. And it requires a new and improved me. Come on. God is taking me higher. And it requires a new and improved me. Come on. He's taking me higher. He's taking me higher. But here's the thing. As he takes us higher, be sure that you don't start cursing the thing. Be sure that you don't start self-sabotaging this thing that you prayed for. God straight up told me, you prayed for this. You asked me for this. You asked me for increase. Now you mad that you owe the IRS. What? How that work? How that work? You asked me for this. God straight up told me, you asked me for this. You asked me to increase the ministry, and now you owe the IRS, and you mad, and you don't want to do it. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. That's it. These ain't the only two people that need to be saying God is taking me higher. It's 13 people on here. It's 13 people on here. And here's the thing about it. God says, I need to say this. The fact that some of you guys don't follow simple directions, God said, I need to say this. It correlates to how you respond to God. Some of y'all do this same thing to God. God will tell you something and you just act like you don't hear it. You act like you don't hear him. Or God can tell you something and he has to tell you 3, 4, 5 times. He has to tell you 3, 4, 5 times. How you treat a leader, a lot of times is how you treat God. Y'all not ready for that conversation. A lot of times how you treat a leader is how you treat God. You dishonor a leader, guess what? You probably are dishonoring God as well. I know. You can't follow simple instructions from a leader that's been proven. And it's not about control. But guess what? 9 times out of 10, if you having trouble following directions from a leader, you probably are having even more difficulties following instructions from God. And that's just what it is. It's a direct correlation. And that's the point of like where I am too. I can't make people do right by you, God. I don't care how y'all do me. But I cannot make people do right by God. I can't make you get in alignment. I can't make you do it. I can't make you obey. Can't nobody make you obey God. That has to be in you. God said, I got to say that again. It has to be in you. It has to be in you. So boom, homework. I want you guys to go and read today Ephesians, the 6th chapter, the entire chapter. The entire chapter. Yep. The entire chapter. Most people, when they hear Ephesians 6, they automatically go into the part where it talks about the armor of God. But some of you guys need to revisit the entire chapter. It's golden. It's golden. And so that is the broadcast. That's it. There are some of y'all that need to sow. Some of y'all gonna act like you don't hear God telling you to sow, like you don't feel the Holy Spirit, but that ain't on me. It's not on me. But there are 7 people that need to sow seed into this word. And out of those 7, there's 1 person that needs to sow $100 seed. God says, I need to say that again. There are 7 people that need to sow a seed into this word. Out of those 7, there is 1 person that needs to release $100 seed. There's 1 person. You may not want to release this $100 seed. You may even be fighting the thought of, God, I don't want to sow that. I just sold. But if you know that person is you, if you know that you are one of those 7, just put, that's me, Apostle. I do not have a specific seed amount. God ain't give me that. God ain't give me a specific seed amount. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But there are 7 people that need to sow seed into this word. There is 1 person that needs to release $100 seed. If you are one of the 7, just put, that's me, Apostle. If you are one of the 7, just put, that's me, Apostle. The seed title is whatever God leads you to label it. The seed title is whatever God leads you to title it. And there's 1 person that needs to sow $100 seed. 1 person. It may be a sacrifice. It may be. There are 5 more people that need to sow. And I'm sure that there are going to be some people that sow on the replay. But there are five more people that need to sow. Even if you feel like your seed is not significant, obedience is still key. You know, some of you guys will not sow because you feel like I don't have much to sow. But God never asks us for more than what we have. He only asks that we be willing to obey with what we have. I'm going to say that again. Some of y'all do not sow out of shame because you feel like I don't have much to sow. But there is no seed that is insignificant. God is looking at the posture of your heart when you sow, and he's looking for obedience. I'm going to say that again. He's looking at your heart, and he is looking at obedience. Sometimes we pay too much attention to what we can. So sometimes we enter into disobedience because we feel like, God, I want to be able to do more than what you said. He didn't ask you to do more than what he said. He asked that you be willing to give him what you do have. There's at least 1 more person on this broadcast that needs to sow. Do I have anyone that can sow for Stephanie Palmer? For some reason, I hear 10. No, the Lord says 11. Do I have someone that can sow? It may be an $11 seed. It may be 11.11. It may be something and 11 cents. Do I have anyone that can sow for Stephanie Palmer? And not you, Visha. God says not you. There is 1 person that can sow for Stephanie Palmer. If you're able to sow for her, can you just put, God is faithful? if you're able to sow for her, can you just put God is faithful? I believe she was the third person. And there are some of you guys on here that you probably do need to sow. But do I have anyone that can sow for Stephanie Palmer? This should not be something that takes, okay, there we go. To God be the glory. I was going to say, this shouldn't be something that takes long, and I have to say this as well. God sees those of you guys that glean from the word. And then when we talk about sowing, you get quiet. But that is it. That is it. That is it. Listen, to the person that needs to sow 100, label your seed God is faithful. I don't know who you are. I do not know who you are, but to the person that needs to sow that $100 seed, label your seed God is faithful. I'm going to stay on here until Stephanie is sown for. Those of you guys that know you are sowing, go ahead and head on over to the PayPal or the Cash App and sow what God has told you to sow. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to wait on here until I know that Stephanie's paid for, sown for. And that's it. And I'm going to also say this while I'm waiting. Like when God takes us higher, he doesn't do so without strategy. I'm going to say that again. When God takes us higher, he doesn't do so without strategy. I'm going to say that again. When God takes us higher, when he levels us up, he don't just do it by leaving us in the dark. No, he gives us strategy. I think that was a part that I didn't share last night. Yeah, I dealt with some anxiety, but as sure as I did what God said do, he came with strategy. Strategy for things that he needs me to pick back up, strategies for improving what I'm already doing right now. So, we serve a God of strategy. We absolutely serve a God of strategy. And so as you receive the new thing that God is doing for you, as you allow him to take you higher, please understand, you're not doing this blindly. You are not doing this blindly. And so that is it. I'm still waiting on Stephanie Palmer's seed to come in. Am I freezing? Can someone let me know if I'm freezing? Can someone let me know if I am freezing? Can someone let me know if I'm freezing? Okay. So listen, I'm still waiting on Stephanie Palmer's seed. And that's just to ensure that I don't have to come back on here just to get her sown for. I do know that sometimes when we put things off, sometimes things pop up and we get sidetracked, but that is what I'm waiting for at the moment. That is what I'm waiting for. Again, to everyone else that is sowing, just go sow. Just go and sow. Just go and sow. And so that is where we are right now. That is where we are right now. Again, I'm still waiting on Stephanie Palmer's seed to be sown for. But that is it, y'all. That is it. That is it. I see some seeds are coming in now, but I'm still waiting on Stephanie Palmer's seed. That is what I am waiting for. And so, to those of you guys that need prayer for anything, those of you guys that have testimonies, prayer.thoughtsbyt@gmail.com is the way to send your prayer requests and testimonies. And so that is it. I'm going to let you guys go now. Once Stephanie's seed comes through, I will let you guys know that she's been sown for. But that is it, y'all. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. So until next time, y'all. Peace.